When you hear the word archives, what does that mean to you?
Secret documents.
Untold histories.
It's a telegram. That is like ancient email.
Oh, because it says Western Union because you
I think archives can be intimidating places and places that high school students often don't get to come.
I can't even read
The best of health to you.
Oh my God, I can't read this.
Our class, which is like a research class, we create what we want to learn about.
So we're gonna have a group of 11th and 12th graders, an entire class about activism.
What comes to mind when you think of Angela Davis? You can just shout out some words.
Activist.
Activist. Black Panther, definitely.
Angela Davis is, to me, like an embodiment of activist scholars through decades of fighting for freedom, starting at age 16.
It's crazy how she was just a teenager and doing all of this stuff.
She grew up in the segregated South in Birmingham, Alabama.
So we're looking at the research that she made during the time where there were a lot of lynchings. We searched up the names of the people that died during the time and how they died with like gunshots and stuff like that.
Those are all the notes.
Yeah.
This is history in this very intimate way that you can actually hold a letter that Angela Davis wrote.
In the papers where, like Hallie said, coffee spilled all over.
I said it was 1 a.m. and she was drinking black coffee with 5 sugars.
Yes!
What she means to me, I feel like she encourages me to not only advocate for myself, but for other people who, like everyone has a voice, but like they might not feel comfortable using it. So I feel like she encourages me to advocate for them.
What we're doing now is basically trying to find our own voice as students because we're not really heard at our school. I feel like since she has a voice, she kind of gave me a voice. Yeah.
Their teacher shared with me that they've been frustrated, that they feel like their work hasn't been making an impact. And I think that seeing how a life work does make an impact and leaves a legacy is really key and important. Her story is really an inspiring story of activism. The story of her trial is an incredible story of justice in the criminal justice system.
The Mueller report was redacted, similarly to this, where you can't actually see the whole text.
The fact that she is a African-American woman, I'll feel more confident into doing things that people think I can't do or like shouldn't do just because I'm African American and also a woman.
Angela Davis is a great representation of making changes, creating ripples at all ages.
I've learned that since not most people want to speak up about what's wrong, somebody has to.
So I think it's really important for these students to think about what is the impact they want to make for the future generation, and that is part of their legacy.
As we go on, like it'll help not only me, but the whole class, like get more involved in the community. Not just being there to be there, like actually knowing what you're talking about. So like if someone tried to shut you down, you will be able to have like the knowledge to advocate for yourself.
We might get more involved. Let's say something is going wrong at our school, maybe start a protest.
And I think that shows how Boston Public School students are creative, thinking about how to push status quo, thinking about how to be a leader in their own school building and beyond.
Well, I want to be a lawyer, so I feel like that's another type of activist. Just because I'm young doesn't mean I can't do certain things. As long as I have the knowledge behind it, then it can't be stopped.
What would your legacy look like? What would be in your exhibition?
I do free writes, so kind of like to Angela Davis, she just writes down her thoughts, right? So I would like to leave my free writes and for the world to see what I think most of the time.
I said cases because I want to be a lawyer, so like the cases that I worked on.
I feel like maybe one day I could be in one of these little buildings and somebody's talking about me sitting right here being interviewed and looking at my work and what I left behind for them.